The summit ended at 2:30 in the morning. EU leaders agreed to give Theresa May until 31st of October to get her Brexit deal done. But the sooner the deal gets done, the sooner the UK can leave. Most had wanted to give her longer, but President Macron of France dug in for something much shorter. October was the compromise to keep the French happy.
This extension is as flexible as I expected and a little bit shorter than I expected, but it's still enough to find the best possible solution. Please do not waste this time.
The UK will probably have to take part in EU elections and could still be an EU member in 6 months' time. That will infuriate Brexit-supporting MPs who want out as soon as possible.
I do not pretend that the next few weeks will be easy or there is a simple way to break the deadlock in Parliament. But we have a duty as politicians to find a way to fulfil the democratic decision of the referendum, deliver Brexit and move our country forward. Nothing is more pressing or more vital.
There'll be a Brexit progress report at the EU's regular summit in June. EU leaders are desperate to deal with other matters, but Brexit refuses to go away. The immediate threat of a no-deal Brexit has been averted again. Theresa May will get more time to try and get the withdrawal deal through Parliament, and her negotiations with the opposition Labour Party will start again. But Theresa May's domestic position is weaker than ever. Any deal she can agree with the Labour Party could further alienate many of her own MPs. Calls for her to resign will grow louder. When EU leaders meet again in June to review this process, it may not be Theresa May they'll be dealing with. Simon McGregor-Wood, TRT World, Brussels.
And for more on this, Rajneesh Narula joins us now from Geneva. He's an international business regulation professor at the University of Reading's Henley Business School. Welcome back to the program, Rajneesh. So Theresa May now has around 6.5 months to try and get a Brexit deal over the line in the UK Parliament. Do you think she'll be able to do it?
Well, I think the way to see this 6 months is to see it as two parts. The first part of it is the 22nd of May. So 22nd of May is when they can withdraw from the European elections without having to do an election themselves. And that's what her hope is, that she can get a deal through by the 22nd of May, which will get her extremist Brexiteers off her back, and then they will allow her to go through with the deal. If she doesn't get by 22nd of May, then she has to do an election they have to run an election for the European Parliament, which means then the October 31st, the Halloween exit date then kicks in.
Yes, let's talk about the European Parliament elections. Everyone in the UK had hoped they might be able to avoid them, but here we are. One of the outcomes of the Brussels meeting was that the UK must hold elections to the European Parliament, and if it doesn't, it'll be forced to leave the EU by the 1st of June. How is that likely to be received in the UK Parliament, and particularly within her own party?
Well, the 70-odd extreme Brexiteers are, of course, livid that she's made this promise. But the thing is that there are only about 70 of them, 70 on both sides, I'd say. So she can live with it. I think everyone realizes that this is actually getting quite serious, as if they didn't realize this before. So it is time so she will survive. They can't afford to overthrow her. Nobody wants her. Well, nobody except the 70 people want her to leave.
Now, the next likely step is that Theresa May will resume talks with the opposition Labour Party in order to win their support to get her deal over the line. Do you think Jeremy Corbyn and his colleagues will eventually back her deal?
That's a tricky call. My own feeling is that they won't. They're too far apart ideologically. They don't trust each other. And Corbyn wants to be Prime Minister. So I think this is the problem with both sides. Everyone is seeing their party and their own power as the first issue. and the national issue as a secondary matter almost. So she's not going to get a deal with, I don't expect her to get a deal. I don't think anyone expects them to make a deal. So that really leaves three choices: resign, referendum, or have a general election. And nobody wants and those are really far distant issues now. She won't resign, she has said. She doesn't want an election, and she doesn't want a referendum. So we're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Sure are. And as this Brexit saga drags on, the UK's business community is in really a bit of a limbo, isn't it? It doesn't know how to plan because they don't know when Brexit is going to happen. Do you think businesses have just learned to live with it, price it in somehow?
Well, the markets certainly have priced it in, because you may have noticed the pound hasn't shifted against the dollar or the euro. And everyone feels that, at least the markets, the currency markets, are fairly certain that something will come through by 31st of October. But I think for companies, most companies have a Brexit plan. And anyone who's smart enough, it's the individuals who haven't really thought this through. At the individual level, and the costs that are going to come in. So I think it's we'll come to a point now that everyone is exhausted and fed up, and they will believe anything. They're really nobody is expecting miracles, and nobody is expecting a happy outcome.
Interesting take on things. Rajneesh Narula, thank you again for your time, this time from Geneva.